Hey everybody, it's Professor Hall coming to you live, and I thought I would make a little video tutorial rather than writing something out. First, I want to thank you all so much for your professional behavior, your attitudes as we've moved forward through this global crisis, and I appreciate so much how the way that you are uh, being sensitive to one another in the discussion boards and getting work turned in. I see the single source essays in, and I'll be working on those in the next couple of days. So that's great. I want to move on now and talk just a little bit about the uh, big multiple source essay. One of the things about Blackboard that I really enjoy is that I can organize folders and then subfolders within that. It does get confusing. The multiple source essay is a great big 6-week essay project. And as much as I've tried to organize it in a way that will be completely logical for everybody, generally somebody is confused. So if that's you, please know you're not alone. This is one reason why you have that those two discussion boards that are open for weeks 6 through 9 and 8 through 10. And so you can use those if you're confused about something, but everything is there in the multiple source essay folders. And I think it's a matter of just taking a deep breath and methodically going through and looking at things without being, where is it, which I have done. Where is it? I can't see it. So I did add in the video tutorial library, if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, there is a series of tutorials that I had questioned whether I would put in the course or not, but I've had a lot of response from students who have seen this series of videos, and it's really been helpful. Now, what you'll see in that tutorial set is me actually writing an argument essay. Now, this type of argument essay is actually a literary analysis. Many of you are not working on a literary analysis, and so the topic will be different. The process is always the same, always the same. The first thing I do is open up EasyBib, and that's on my left. Right next to that is the proposal. When the proposal is completed, that goes away and that's replaced with the outline. To the right of that are all the files that I have open to study. Makes it really easy having EasyBib on my left, because as soon as I open an article, I just copy that URL, paste it over there into EasyBib, done. Don't have to think about it again. And then I start filling in the details of the outline. But just to show you the process of creating an argument essay, I think that tutorial session would be good for you to watch, keeping in mind that it's just merely the process, and separate that from whatever your topic is, although the process is always the same. Now, as we look at the proposal, the first thing that we want to do is take your topic and narrow it. I know that for many people, you've selected a topic that is vast, and it becomes, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do with this. For example, uh, medications for mental illness. That's a huge topic. So what you want to do is think about one mental illness and the 3 proposed ways that have been indicated to deal with that particular mental illness. Just narrow it down to one rather than the entire array. And of course, if I have something like Alzheimer's and I go to Google and I Google in what are the uh, methods for working on Alzheimer's, I'll see a long list. Pick 3. Pick one that is obviously awful. Pick one that is sort of holistic, that's sort of a little bit different kind of an approach, and then pick one that would be a medication that is suggested. And you would evaluate each one of those things, get to the truth of it. I mean, nobody, I never accept anything as truth. I just keep digging until I get to the actual truth of anything. I love researching. And whether you are a student who has written lots of essays, or for whom this is the first essay or you've written in a very long time, it's a wonderful process. It's that I think human beings have an investigative nature. I want to get to the bottom of this. I don't just accept anything as fact without researching it. So we talked about how we might organize a mental illness. Now, then there are other things that might be a theory, or I'm going to, how did this happen? And a theory about how that happened based on facts. Let's say that, because not everything has to be earth shattering, let's say I want to research, and I may do this someday. How did Woodstock become Woodstock? Many of you are too young to have remembered this, but in 1969 it was quite the event. And there were not the computer resources available. Nobody had a cell phone. Nobody was making connections in this way or the other way. They had planned on, I think I'd have to remember and really research it, but they planned on just 1,000 people to come for this concert. And yet it became, I don't even know, I'd have to get the figure, well over 1 million people. And how did that happen? Okay, so there's some facts to that, but then there's an inexplicable fact that I would have as my particular theory, right? You can tell people this is a cool place to come. You can tell people in Kansas, this is just going to be a really nifty event. But getting people to get into a car and drive to upstate New York is a whole different thing. So I might get interested in that, and I would organize that based on, the description of the event, how it was initially pitched to investors, how it was communicated to the public, and then other factors that were involved. And then I would probably ask some people who were there. How did, I have two friends that actually went to Woodstock and were there and camped out and the whole thing. And I would turn to them as my field study. I'd ask them, I'd interview them with key questions about their theory about how that happened. Well, how it happened is, choppers came in with musicians and somehow equipment got through and people got up on a stage and sang. And that's what happened. But it's the event itself that became iconic, and that I might do something like that. So a theory is based on a series of facts that I have organized, right? If I have the types of mental illness, then that organization would be an introduction, definition of terms where I explain to the reader in common sense terms what Alzheimer's actually is. Then the next section would be solution 1, solution 2 would be the next section, solution 3 would be the next section, and then the all important section, number 4, would be which one do I think is best? Based on the research, I will have interviewed people. I will have interviewed people whose parents are are suffering from Alzheimer's. I'm getting that mixed up with autism, but that kind of thing. But in a theory, I need to have a series of facts and then that one inexplicable factor that made that particular event hit the tipping point. And so that would be something that I would do. Now, what I'm going to do is below this tutorial, you're going to see my cell phone. If you want to call and talk about your topic and how you might organize that, please feel free to call me. I am on Pacific time, so keep that in mind when you decide the time to call. And also, you might want to text me first and tell me you're my student and that you're calling, because I've been getting a lot of spam calls. You probably have too. And if I see something and I don't necessarily know it, sometimes I don't answer. So if you text ahead of time and say, I'm going to be calling you in an hour, and my topic is whatever your topic is, that gives me a minute to think about it, have some potential ideas, and then you can talk to me about what you've come up with so far. It's always best if you say, here's what I have so far, and here's what I want to think about doing, and then I can help you with that. If you want to email me, I can help you by emailing back up what I call a little kickstart, where I kind of get a fabric of the organization started for you to get you going. But I'm available to you to talk about that. I cannot talk to you about grades. That needs to be communicated through your Wayland email account so that the records are part of the school. And I cannot talk to you about grades on the phone, but I can talk to you about your topic and see what I can do to get you going on that. So hopefully that's helpful. And instead of going with that 800 number, let's just zoom past that. Let me just give you my number, and then you can text me and let me know you'll be calling. Don't text me a question. You don't want me to answer on a text. Believe me, I have sent people to Sarasota, Florida, when all they asked was what time we were going to meet at the restaurant, and all of a sudden they're driving to Sarasota. I mean, don't text me. Email me a question if you like, or call me if you like, and I'll be more than happy to help you with that. Right now, the world is upside down. It makes it a challenge to focus sometimes. And I want to tell you before I sign off here how I know that the due dates have changed, and I am, the world is upside down for me too. And I'm trying very hard to make sure that everybody has a chance to succeed. I know it's been unsettling. You have family members who are not with you. It's a very challenging time. And I will get a date set, and then all of a sudden the world turns upside down again. And so I'm so sorry if that's been confusing to you when something is due. It comes from a pure place of me wanting to give you every opportunity to get things turned in a timely fashion. But I'm really sorry if that's confused you. I really am. And also I want to remind you that the textbook is available for you. Some people learn best from textbooks, and the textbook has an entire section on writing the multiple source essay. So if that works better for you, you can certainly use that. I'm available to you, and I hope that this will be a really fun project. Just to mention one other quick thing. Years ago, somebody wanted to do the topic of should college athletes be paid? And I had a very absolute answer in those days, because I paid for my own school, and I didn't know how to throw a ball into a basket, and I didn't know how to swing a golf club. And so I paid for my own tuition with some grants and with a couple of little scholarships. And so I wasn't very sensitive to paying college athletes who are getting a free education. They're getting all kinds of things like that. Now, my opinion has changed. And that's the wonderful thing about writing things like this. My opinion gets to change. I get to change my mind. I see it completely differently now. When I see, like I'm from Oklahoma University, and we have the big team, other people have the big team, meaning that it's just never a level playing field. The same people are always playing in the national championship. They always have the bigger programs. And here in California, the law is either passed or it's fixing to pass that says that athletes can be paid. And so now it's going to be a bit different deal. I see it differently. I feel like if a player at a school can get an endorsement deal, that money should be theirs, even though the school affiliation is what got them to that level. But anyway, I'm just saying that's a thing that I would have an opinion on, and I'd have to base it on a whole lot of research and different research methods. Now, the good news. At the end of the semester, you're going to be given a bonus point. It'll be coming up later on your evaluation. If you do the course evaluation, you get some bonus points. And what I'm also going to add on to your final essay, which is the most heavily weighted assignment of the semester, 1 full point, just for the way you have handled yourselves in this crisis. You are the exception, not the rule. Of course, I talk with professionals all the time, and they are having a dickens of a time with their students, complaining about this and that. And there you are with all the responsibilities you have, doing the work, digging in your heels, getting things turned in on time, and trying and doing the very best you can. I appreciate that. I think it shows good character, and I think it's deserving of a little bonus point at the end of the semester. So look below this and you'll see my phone number. Call me if you need me. If the video tutorial series that you will find in the video tutorial library at the very bottom, if that helps you, great. If you look at it and you think this is making me even more confused, don't look at it. I think it will help you, but because I'm just talking to you while I'm actually writing the essay, so you can just see the process of organizing everything. So anyway, take a look at that. It's there for you if you'd like to use it, and it certainly is at your discretion. God bless you, each one of you. You're in my prayers. You're in my thoughts. I'm thinking about you. I'm way out here in California, and I know some of you have written some nice things to me too, and I really appreciate that. So this is going to conclude this tutorial, and I'm going to let you move on and get ready to do those proposals. And again, you're going to follow that template exactly as it's shown. When you look at my little video tutorial series, it's using a little bit of a different template. Don't let that throw you. Each different assignment always has a different template for a proposal. All right, that takes me out. Bye, y'all.